Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. We've got to get in gear and get going on our 1969 Camaro. As you may recall, this is for the Unified Scale Automotive Content Creators number 5 group build for 2026. And it also is my second car for the Saturday Night Short Track group build for 2026. So it's serving two purposes, but we got a deadline of March the 15th for the USAC build. So let's get busy.
Bring your model to life with MCV products. Visit them on the World Wide Web at mcvproducts.com.
Okay guys, since our last video you can see where I took the Sharpie and went back over the whole car and started taking where those body mold lines are. Got those marked. I am going to remove these, of course, windshield wipers. We'll get all that taken care of. I'm not going to remove this body seam here, but I am going to move it down just a little bit, give it a smoother look just a little. And of course the door handles, the scripts, the marker lights, all that stuff. And if you go back and look at those pictures, you'll notice that these gills weren't on that car either, so we're going to be filling those in. All of this, everything that you see in black is going to be sanded smooth, and we're going to kind of convert this to that race car kind of look. Getting to the chassis and interior, the chassis not too bad. There's a few things. I'm going to build this up. I'm going to fill this in and build it up. I am going to take our sanding pen, the 3M sanding pen, and remove this up, rough a lot of this up, remove these seat seat attachment points for the stock seats. And I'm going to start, I'll go ahead, put this in there and kind of mark on the inside where our sections for the roll cage are going to need to be mounted, and then how we'll go from there. Moving on to the chassis, we've got, and by the way, I've got my Tack Life with my cutting tool on it there, ready to go, because if you recall from those wheels, we're going to have to remove this, get up here where you can see it where it's sticking out. This is going to have to be removed, and I'll take where this is kind of flared out right here, cut this in, we'll put some sheet plastic back in there. So we're just going to widen these tubs a little bit. I'm going to have to move this shock mount from, well, I guess you can see this one better, from here a little further back, and then we'll angle it in. But I'll show you that stuff as we go. You can see where I've marked the fuel cell. We're going to cut all of this out, and we're going to put in a race car type looking fuel cell, and you can see the letters there from the factory. We'll be removing that, and these forward fender wells, we're going to cut those away. This is not going to be a contest car by any means, guys. This is going to be more of a shelf model, but more about the exterior, but I am going to do some stuff under the hood so I can have it up. But we'll remove these fender wells, and we'll build the cage around the engine and all that stuff there too. So that's what we're going to work on today. Also, I'm going to go off camera. Some of this I'm going to do off camera, but I'm also going to go back through the box, and the stuff out of the kit that I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the sprue, engine, you know, the tires and wheels, all that stuff was in here. I am going to remove the firewall and just kind of see if there's anything in the firewall that is doable. I'm thinking about going ahead and just building a new firewall because it's a race car. And we'll remove the grill, of course, rear spoiler, the front air dam, all that stuff. We'll get all that stuff off here. And just the stuff we're going to be using. And there's our clear parts. We're going to get those set aside. We will be using those, of course. And I'm going to be doing a different dash, but I am going to take this off so I can see the mount points, and I may shave these mounting points off to put on the dash that we're going to build. I thought about just trimming this down, this dash, and modifying it, and I haven't really ruled that out totally yet, but I think a good stock car like dash is going to look better in there. I had mentioned we're going to use the 302 engine. We are going to change the intake and the, no, I don't see anything else in there I need, I don't think. But we are going to change the intake, carburetor, the fueling system, all that kind of stuff. So that looks like that's it, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff cut away, the stuff we're going to use, radiator, a lot of that kind of stuff. And I'll get started on that, and we'll be back. Okay, guys, we're back. Finished up the body. I'm going to go ahead and show you what we've got done so far. All of the scripts on the front, rear, everywhere, the marker lights, door handles, all this stuff's been removed. Went ahead and filled in the gills here. Kind of scratched up something there. I had to put a little mud there, so got that straightened up. Rescribed the door panels. Took out the key button for the trunk. Other side is done, as you see here. Also removed that chrome trim that was around the wheel wells. Got that removed. The biggest challenge was really just getting and evening up nice and even the windshield wipers and getting everything smoothed out. And you see where I had to put a little putty here and here to kind of smooth that out. Everything looks really good and even now. All the way around the seams, everything that was down here, everything's pretty much done. The only thing I've got left to do is, you see right here, this little extra piece sticking out here. Well, you can see on the other side, I've already removed that. You got the lip there for the hood, but it's very, very small, and this one bulge here, I'm gonna go ahead and remove that like the other side. And everything fits really good. Hood looks good. We've got everything smoothed out, race car look. I was gonna go ahead and take the drip rail off up here, and I went back and looked at every picture of the car. It is body color. It's not a chrome strip, it's body color, but it is there, so I am going to leave that too. A few other things that I looked at, and that was, one of them was the grill and headlights, because you got the SC version and you got the RS version, and one's got the hideaway, and as I looked at the pictures of the front of the car, it had the blocked off. So I'm thinking that's the way I'm going to end up going instead of the headlight covers, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to do a little more research on that, and we'll make sure. Chassis is all cut up. We removed the fender wells, and back here where I showed you those humps that were here that we needed to move. Turns out that didn't do any good. Oh, and we removed the fuel, the stock gas tank, and we'll be smoothing out a little bit more of that and then building up the racing tank. But this turned out, well, it had to be done anyway for the wheels and tires to fit. But you can see where I've got some spots marked on the interior already. Well, when you put this in, you can see that even though that bulge was there, it's still there because of the interior. So I have gone ahead and marked on both sides what needs to be cut out. I'm going to build bigger tubs to put into the interior. So that means I'm going to have to make cuts here and here. And then, of course, cut this out, and then we'll put bigger tubs in right there. That way those tires are going to clear that. By the way, the tools I've used have been, of course, the tack light. I always keep a piece of 320 and 400 sandpaper, and about that size, and that way I can get down into little things. Of course, I use the sanding sticks, a coarse and a fine. The sanding pen, you notice where I took all that stuff off out with this. And this thing is just, this one is 3M brand, but other companies make them, but it's called a, you can barely read it, spot sanding pen. And these are really hard fiberglass strands, and they break off and wear down. You know it's fiberglass when you get one stuck in little bitty piece in the end of your finger. It hurts. So I usually wear gloves when I'm using these things. But you can see where everything cleaned up really nicely with the sanding stick. And I've got a couple of files that I used on the body, and of course just a small one, and then a rat tail around file. This worked real good for shaping right around here because you see that slight lip there. Also, I use these a lot. You've seen me in other videos use this, and it's just a photo etch saw blade. And this thing cuts through styrene. And this is an old one, as you can see. It's got little rust spots on it. I've got them in several different grits. But if you want to know where to find these, Model Car Garage has a thread that has them on it. But go over to mcvproducts.com, and Matthew has these, and you see the teeth there. And I'm going to be taking this one out shortly, because when I get into that interior, wherever I laid it, oh, here we go, to start cutting this out, this is what I'm going to use. So we're going to be opening that up and using it. And to rescribe my panel lines and stuff like that, I use the back of a brand new number 11 blade, and I also use the Tamiya scribing tool. This probably more than anything, because it just does a really, really great job. But that's the tools I've used so far. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a sanding stick. I'm going to go back in here and smooth some of this stuff out a little bit more. Oh, and by the way, on the bottom, where those letters were on there, you remember I've got those sanded off too. Everything kind of smoothed out here, and we'll be building up our fuel cell. I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get this off of here, and we'll talk about primer when we come back, so stick around. Okay guys, so we have our larger wheel tubs scratch built. We've got those installed, and how we did that was after we made those measurements we looked at earlier. I used the razor saw, cut that open, and I made them 9 millimeters wide, and then just took 20,000 sheet plastic, and as you can see, enlarged those. I have put these in the car with the body on and checked it, and you can see there we've got all kinds of clearance there now. I'm going to get to that in a minute. So we're looking good here. We got the clearance. I've had the body on, checked the fit of the tires. Looks good. We'll look at that in the next video. I've got to square up. I was going to go ahead and finish the fuel cell before I came back, but I got on other stuff while the tubs were drying. I started on other stuff, and I've still got to square this up a little bit up inside here. It's not really square, so I need to work on that a little bit more, so we'll be doing that. I did go ahead and put the rear end and the leaf springs together, and just stuck them in the mounting points just to let them set up in the right position and everything. Just kind of use the chassis as a jig to hold everything in place, and that's looking really good. That's fully cured now. Other than that, I think the chassis got a few other things I'm going to put on it before we go. I did find some lettering up in here, some more, another stamp of monogram, or excuse me, Revell in the date and all that stuff. So we got all that sanded out too. Also, in that I had time while the tubs were drying, I went ahead and started a few other things. We've got the engine, the basic engine together, and that dual carburetor setup that comes in the kit just wasn't going to do it. So I took this out of an old Salvino kit, one of the old Monte Carlos, and I cut it down and shaped it so we have a much better single carb system. And I think that turned out really well. Fits really nicely. I'm going to be drilling. I've got a pilot hole kind of here, you see right there. And I'll be enlarging that. I'm going to use a contour And the only picture I've seen, it had the black distributor and black wires. So we're going to be using the Contour distributor. And went ahead and started putting some of this stuff aside. I'm going to get all this stuff in primer, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. The other thing I did was went ahead and got the chrome parts that we're going to be using, and I got them in the purple pond. So the purple power has done its job already. So these will be ready for rechrome and whatever other colors that we're going to be using. And let's see, primers. Let's go ahead and talk about that a second. Oh, let me show you these. I did go ahead and glue up the headers, and these have been drying for a couple hours, so they're probably fine too. But I think these are pretty darn good multi-piece headers, and I did have to clamp them in a number of locations because they were just wow. But I'll be sanding and putting a little putty right there. But overall, I think these turned out really good. And I wasn't going to use these. I was going to use a set of small block headers, some 3Ds I've got. But to be honest with you, I kind of like these. So got those together. And again, I'll ream that out a little bit, clean up the seams there. So looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Now, for the primer on the body, and as you remember, we've got all of that finally blocked out and sanded, and it's looking really good. So we're going to go ahead and get our primer on it. And normally my go-to primer is fine surface primer. They make a regular primer, which is a little bit thicker, but the fine surface primer is really, really good for just getting you a good light primer coat for the paint to bite into. And I prime, guys, everything. There's nothing I don't prime, from the smallest part to the big one. But for this body, since I've got a lot of sanding done, and by the way, I'm rambling, guys, sorry. On the edges of these tubs, I am going to put a little putty and use my, where'd it go? There it is. My little contour edge there, and just kind of nice and easily put a small bead around that, and then we'll get that sanded again too, probably with the sanding pin, and I may roll up some stuff. I don't know yet. The interior in this car was black, so a lot of this you're not going to see, but I'm going to work on it anyway. But anyway, the primer is going to be Duplicolors Automotive 2-in-1, which is a filler and primer. So I'm going to be using this on the first coat because I've got so much stuff on the chassis, the body, and the interior. So I'm going to be doing the first coat anyway is going to be this, and I'm going to do it just a light coat really, and just to get a look at it, and then we'll go from there. The Tamiya, the headers, engine, into all the other smaller stuff, we're going to hit with the Tamiya fine surface primer. But great stuff with this is it's easy to sand. It does fill in a few little gaps here and there, and that's not going to fill in giant gaps like I've got right up here along the tops of these tubs. So I'm going to have to work on that. But this is what we're going to be using on the first coat for this one. Also, I'd mentioned we're going to be making a plate to cover this up and kind of level it up a little bit. And how we're going to do that is the same way I made these, where'd my pointer go there? These little inserts here, the curved inserts that go inside these tubs. All I did was take the contour gauge, put that there, and, well, I'll show you. And as you can see, that gives you the shape. And then you just transfer this over to your cardstock. I usually do it on a piece of 3x5 card, then I cut it out and I put it up against it to make sure that it's right. Then I transfer it to a piece of sheet plastic, in this case 20 thousandths. And that's, by the way, that's what we're going to be making our fuel cell out of, is the Evergreen 20 thousandths. Same thing. And this is, the contour gauge is, once again, what we're going to be using, and we'll just do it right now, or at least this part, You get it lined up. And there you go. And as you can see, it's right to the shape there. And we'll transfer this over, and well, you always want to make sure all the splines are pushed, so you want to back here. There we go. Yeah. Now, yeah, that's much better. And now we'll just transfer that to our cardstock. We'll test fit it, transfer it to plastic, and then just glue that right down over all that. And instead of having that recessed lid down there with the speakers, that's just going to be like one piece of sheet metal that's just laid right there. So that's how we're going to do it. Contour gauge, great tool, great tool. All right, guys, I think that is it for the moment. Got a lot done today. All this was done today. And we'll be getting a little bit more here tomorrow. I'm going to be kind of busy tomorrow, so I won't get as much done. But I should have another video up on this, and as well as another little treat I've got I'm working on too. So, yeah, that's it. Hope y'all have an absolutely awesome week. Hope if you're in the South, well, about everywhere in the country, we've got this weather going crazy on us. So hopefully you're staying warm and staying safe. Guys, God bless. We love you. See you in the next video. Thanks, guys.